was a bit of a shit show for the Attack on Titan fandom. With April 1st and thus April Fools occurring so very close to the final episode of the second part of season 4 of Attack on Titan, a lot is now up in the air on people's understandings on what the fuck is happening. I'm recording this one day before the release of the final episode of AOT. I have not watched it yet, and I'm about to insert a clip after having watched it to give you guys an idea of not only my feelings on the last episode, but also to see if we get that extra at the end of to be continued, or if something else happens. But yeah, we're just gonna cut that in now. I'm actually not going to wait until I see the AOT episode, mainly because I don't need to explain what's going to be happening with the future of Attack on Titan, because literally as I was packing up from filming the first part of this video and about to go to sleep, because it is roughly 2:30 in the morning right now, my friend texts me hurriedly going, "It's gonna be a series, it's gonna be a part 3! So yes, we are getting a part 3. It was officially announced on Twitter not too long ago. I think just a couple of hours ago even. Hold on. As of recording this, literally only an hour ago. As of publishing this, it'll be a couple hours ago. We got official confirmation that there will be a part 3 to the Attack on Titan series. This will be released in, as I mentioned, 2023, and I know the wait sucks. And in the rest of this video, I'm going to keep the rest of this video just sort of to understand why some people would think certain ways about why they wanted this outcome or this outcome, because this is a very mixed bag of reactions from this announcement. I'm going to continue to keep that part of the video, though there will be little interjections from this version of me who now knows what the fuck's gonna happen, as well as an ending to this video, which is going to be me sort of piecing together why people are having some of the reactions that they are having, and essentially what's going to be happening for 2023 for Attack on Titan. But that'll be at the end of this video. There'll be chapters down below if you want to skip to the end of the video. But I am honestly very excited that there is a part 3, mainly because it's not going to be a movie. So let's get into the rest of this video. And we're back. First of all, I just wanted to note, first AOT video where I'm actually wearing my Levi shirt. So AOT ended season 4 part 2 as of today. I wanted to explore, out of all of the confusion, what the fuck is happening with the AOT fandom and what is going to be happening after season 4 part 2. We're gonna go through the fan theories, leaks, and through the April Fool's jokes that got a lot of people going, including myself. See, this Twitter post that I mentioned in the opening actually did get me, because this is my best case scenario for what I wanted as a viewer of AOT. And of course, the series was far from being completely finished as being aligned with the manga, and this means that there is more of the AOT story to be told. The climax and finale of the Attack on Titan story. As I mentioned before this part, I don't know what the fuck's happening with AOT. There could be a new season coming out. I don't know, I haven't watched the episode yet. You will have already seen the part where I say I've seen the episode, but nothing is definitive as of this point in time. And so we are going to go through the 3 main theories for this entire anime, for what's going to happen for the final arc of Attack on Titan. I'm also going to be sort of analysing the likeliness of their occurrences and whether or not I want this certain thing or not. So, going on to the first of the 3 possibilities that could happen is hour-long finale episodes. Now, this is my personal best case scenario. Now, as I mentioned, this April Fool's joke here got me really good, because for weeks, ever since we hit the 6 episode milestone for this last part of Attack on Titan thus far, I have been theorizing that they were going to do the last episodes in hour-long chunks, or just over the average 23 to 25 episode mark, because there was just so much content that needed to be pulled from. And there have been other series, for example, Demon Slayer, which are insanely popular, that are not afraid to push past the 20-minute benchmark. And my opinion of this had actually been extremely influenced by Demon Slayer because of this, because season 2, obviously, there were multiple episodes where there were high moments of battle that needed to be edited, and that to fit the flow of the story could not be cut into separate segments. Also to like keep their specific like episode run. So I was thinking that, oh yeah, maybe AOT will do the same thing. Now this is my best case scenario, but the lowest likelihood of occurrence. I do still believe that longer episodes could be in the cards for this last part, especially the last episode, as it will just help the series end off in a good way. But as I mentioned, no confirmation on how long the episodes will be, especially since it was just announced that there will be a part 3. Option number 2, a movie. This is my worst case scenario. Once again, if you do look at Demon Slayer, as when I drawed with the 40-minute episode comparison, Demon Slayer did recently release, obviously, Mugen Train, which is by far one of the highest selling anime movies that's attached to a fucking series ever, and it was of an arc that had not been animated yet. Financially, this would be very smart on Mappa's behalf. Popularity-wise, not so much. Because you do have to put certain things into perspective. Number one, if you're comparing Demon Slayer to Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer's movie was followed up by an insanely animated and extremely well-received season. This movie, theoretically, that would be Attack on Titan's, would be their last hurrah, and they would have to cut out certain things that are in this arc. As noted by many, with the amount of chapters that there are left via the manga, there is enough to make a whole full season, which would be at the very least 2 hours long, max maybe 4 hours long worth of content, depending how they want to push and pull things. Also, based on the fact that there are scenes that have been taken out and been shortened in the actual series itself. So would you really, for your last hurrah, want a movie where you have to cut down on a lot of shit, unless you make a full 2-hour-long movie, which can be a lot and will take a lot. 2, there would be a major delay for us as an audience between the release of the final season and this theoretical movie. And on top of that would be the wait that we would have to, for us in the West, to actually physically see this film. Which leads me on to number 3. Speaking of fucking waiting, I have trust issues with Mappa and films, okay? This same studio has taken 6 years to give us another Yuri on Ice piece of media, which is a film. Yuri on Ice is long past its prime, thank you very much. You've waited 6 years, and I know 2 of those years, 2 or 3 of those years had a fucking pandemic in the middle of it. The movie has still yet to be released. It's getting released later this year. But Yuri on Ice's prime was 2016, 2017, and you're telling me in 2022 there's a Yuri on Ice film coming out. Mappa, unlike with Attack on Titan, has always had the rights to Yuri on Ice, because Yuri on Ice is a direct anime release. You can see why I have trust issues with films and Mappa. With the amount of stuff that's on Mappa's plate, I think a movie for Attack on Titan would be simultaneously number 1 priority. It would also be slightly pushed back a bit in terms of stuff they're releasing. So from a fan standpoint, this is the worst case scenario, is waiting for a fucking film. Because there's a lot to lead up to, and if it drops the ball, that's the last hurrah for Attack on Titan. Now finally is the most likely option, personally, for Attack on Titan. That being a season 4 part 3. Now, I will say, if a third part came out, I would be 1, really mad, but 2, kind of understanding. Because, here's the thing, this is my most midpoint. Would I be angry that I would have to wait a year? Yes, because we already had to wait a year between part 1 and part 2. However, I would much rather wait for a series than for a movie. And from memory, they never said that season 4 part 2 was the definitive end of the series. I could be wrong, but I really don't. I think everyone just sort of assumed, because it would be like one of two, 2 of 2, that people sort of assumed this is the end of Attack on Titan. No, I don't ever recall anyone saying that about the ending to Attack on Titan. So it does seem likely that a part 3 may come out, and there is enough content to fill possibly another 12 episodes. So this seems like the most likely and most beneficial option for all. Would it be annoying as fuck? Absolutely. From a fan who, like, has been waiting for this for so long, it would be incredibly frustrating. However, you do also have to think that the Attack on Titan manga only ended recently. Then the anime came out. So in terms of wait times, yeah, okay, it makes sense. They probably haven't started on the, like, production for this, like, next project that they need to do for Attack on Titan, because they were waiting for the manga to actually finish. It would be extremely devastating to have to wait so long for the climax, the last hurrah of the series. However, I reckon it would be worth it. This is the most midpoint scenario out of the 3 that I've given. Movie, worst case scenario, if you fuck it up, the last hurrah for Attack on Titan would go down in history as being fucking awful, and it would sour the entire series. Several hour-long OVAs, really exciting. You don't have to cut up very important, like, details. You don't have to wait that long, but it's still a lot of content that they have to compact. And this is where sort of some of the rumors came about. Extra series is honestly best case scenario in my mind out of the 2 more probable answers. Would I like it? No, I want the hour-long episodes. But that is just my opinion. Obviously, I'll cut to future me to do the outro of this video. It's just so that, you know, we can actually get an update on what the fuck's happening. So, over to future me. Thank you, past me. Now, I've actually looked at the reception that has been garnered in the last hour or so from Attack on Titan fans who've received this news that we are in fact getting a part 3, and I looked at all this on Twitter. It's all on Twitter, and it is very much a mixed bag. I've seen about 4 different types of people, one of them being like me, who is super excited that there isn't a fucking film. So excited. No film. There is that type of people who are really happy. There's also the type of people who are going, make sure the ending is completely changed from the manga. Personally, I really think the ending should stay the same, because just imagine Yukikaji's, I'm so hoping I'm not butchering his name, how Yukikaji will portray Eren in these scenes. Honestly, I would love to see his portrayal of the scenes as the way they are, so I really think it should stay the same. Another reaction, which was surprisingly a lot, mid. And finally is the cool, we don't want it reaction. I don't know if people are mad because it's not a movie, or it's because it's another part to the season, or if it's the wait time, which I get it, the wait time is extremely frustrating. But in reality, if you put it into, like, the thought processes of the people actually making the fucking anime, and you think about it logistically, there was no way in hell on earth that part 2 was going to be the solidified finale of the season. First of all, the finale of the manga, like the actual finale of the manga, the final chapter, chapter 139, got published 2 in between the release of part 1 and part 2. It came out in April of 2021. That wasn't too long after the release of the first part of Attack on Titan Season 4, Part 1, but it was also assumedly mid-development, assuming that they immediately went from part 1 to part 2. Whether they took a break or just immediately went for it, I don't know, but at this point in time, you can assume that they were mid-development of Season 4, Part 2, when the final manga chapter got fucking released. So if you think about it that way, MAPPA already knew what chapters they were developing, and they had no idea on how the manga series was going to end. And it's kind of on us as a fan base to have thought that MAPPA was going to finish the series anime-wise in part 2 when the manga finished mid-development of that part. And as many have pointed out, with how MAPPA has paced part 2, unless they wanted to cut literally every nuance that we love so that we could get the full story in this one 12-episode season, it wasn't going to happen either way. And really, it would have been far too rushed. And I guess as a fandom, as a hive mind, because there was a part 1, we must have just assumed it was a part 1, part 2 kind of deal, like a 1 of 2 kind of deal for the season, as there wasn't actually an announcement that it would be solidly just a 1 and 2 part season. They never said part 2 was the final part of Attack on Titan, and I could be wrong, but I never saw anything like that. I just kind of assumed that was gonna be the case. And I'm assuming many of you thought the same way. And then, of course, with the rapid success of Demon Slayer's Mugen Train and the recent release of Jujutsu Kaisen 0, many of us probably thought the worst and thought it was going to be a movie finale, which many of us really did not want. But we're in fact getting a Season 4 Part 3 in 2023, which personally I find very fitting, as 2023 marks 10 years of the Attack on Titan anime, which is insane. But I think personally it would be very, very fitting for this chaotic, apocalyptic horror anime that we all fucking love. But that is just my opinion on the matter. What do you guys think about this part 3 scenario? Were you wishing for a movie? Are you upset? Are you happy? Are you excited? Are you annoyed that you have to wait much longer for another freaking part? Please don't be afraid to leave your opinions down below. And if you do, I would like to leave a big spoiler warning, as there may be people who leave spoilers for the ending of the Attack on Titan series in the comments down below, so please proceed with caution. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have been the Dramatic Otaku. I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of Weeb news that has been very exciting and on the tip of everyone's tongues, at least if you're in the Attack on Titan fandom, for so long. I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, morning, whatever time it is for you, and I will see you all on Wednesday. Bye!